I mean, Debo's a big piece of the puzzle. You'll notice that Trent Williams is out here double team with on Isaiah McDuffie. Doesn't work out good for McDuffie, but nothing ever does when you're blocking that guy or getting blocked by that guy. But I think the Debo puzzle piece was such a huge loss for these guys. And big games come down to moments. And we've seen, I think everyone's seen this now. And listen, what you got to say is he's trying to look off because they go single safety. So he tries to look. Savage does a good job of reading this play. I mean, I think that's what's the heartbreaking part is like you could tell like Purdy's trying to look him off right now because he knows that we're matched up single right here. So he knows he's only got one safety to offer, and Savage should be, in his mind, should be coming over the hash mark. So he looks, pumps and just lets it go. He's an anticipation throw guy. And Savage never moved. So, I mean, that's taking the tape and applying it to the game plan, and you love it. I mean, there's no better feeling as a coach, as a player, of like you saw something on tape and you see it the exact same way on the field. It plays out. You get this pick, you get a touchdown, you get a block, whatever. Spring a big run. So you see it, you had it, and had it. It's a big play. Get Purdy off the spot. And how do you get him off the spot? You disrupt the timing of the throw. Nobody's open. Over here, he can't throw this curl because we got a linebacker sitting in the middle. Then you end up getting Preston Smith appreciation post. The big thing is here, I think when you look at this defensive line, I think it's Devontae Wyatt, they're winning against this right side of the offensive line a lot. They're winning a lot. All day. Now, Devondre Campbell here, great job against Juszczyk. And we talked about this is the other way we could go 5 down and make sure we got man-to-man blocking, right? We can stay in nickel, right? And now add and go 6 down here. Well, this isn't nickel. See, this is base. My bad. But switch up the look. So we got man-on-man blocking. Put Devondre at the line of scrimmage. He does a great job here because he knows he has outside help. Ends up making the play. Another orbit motion look. These hash throws. Big time. They wanted to live there. They made a couple plays in there. He's just got such a good – Purdy's just got such a good feeling, I think, for throwing into these spots. When you look at this again, we're showing 2. They got to drive. And like these throws, there's a lot of these. There's a couple in this game where he's got to throw it over that second level defender to get into that spot, man. That's really tough. He has to throw it over Nixon there. You look at this play here on the defensive line again on the double. Nope, no problem. But not good enough. McCaffrey gets free for another couple yards. Now it's just technique. And we're talking about Savage. There's 2 things going on here. One, so Savage, it's a blitz. So Savage is sitting here thinking like they got to cut this off and I'm going to sit on it. So you see that straight-legged look is not good against George Kittle. The second thing is Purdy's got the safety on the backside, right? He drives, I think it's Owens. He drives on Ayuk. And because he didn't stay back and he drove on that because he thought it was the route because, you have rush and you have coverage. And if they don't mesh up, we got problems. So the rush didn't get there. He buys time. We exit out to the right. We didn't do a good job of holding our lane. He exits out. Safety jumps the first one, trying to take it away. And inevitably, he could have thrown it to you. Savage is getting ate up. Backside guys open too. Guys are open. Like when you take chances and it doesn't work out, like they're going to be there are people running free because one-on-one defending in the National Football League, covering every bit of grass is like it's an impossible task. Preston against Trent, right? Watch this. Snap your hips. Just snaps him, stops him cold. And because really, Quay comes downhill, doesn't like do a good job getting, but when he gets in 65's way enough and holds that point at the line of scrimmage, not like 4 yards back, but because he's being downhill aggressive, it doesn't make it obvious. You got Campbell coming through the other side, so McCaffrey feels like he has to bounce. And dude, Preston just rolls his hips into the strongest guy on the field, stops him, ends up making him bounce some more. Campbell lines up. Another great job by Preston. Basic show up in big plays. Quay's got leverage tackle here because you have outside help, all right? You take him down the middle, you take him near hip, okay? What he ends up doing is going high side. And he has an incorrect angle. He lets him go back inside field. So he tries to tackle. Instead of tackling right shoulder to right hip, he tries to tackle left shoulder to left hip. Ends up getting beat for another couple yards. And these don't seem like a big deal, but that's a first down. We did all this sequentially this time, guys. So a lot of the times I'll try to put these in like some sort of grouping, but I put them all sequentially here. We talked about this before. Like Shanahan's just subtle smart. Like see this whole space in between. Now this tells you a couple things. Like one, this tells you that they're running to this side, and two, it tells you for sure that he's not going backside. But you just got to appreciate how they think about things. Having said that, so they're running like one of my favorite plays. But look at what happens on the backside of this play with the hustle. So first of all, we force the cutback. You've got everybody at the line of scrimmage. Rashawn Gary wins upfield. So everything what you want. The only person that the running back has to beat is the backside and does a great job of running down and making the play. We saw that from Kenny all day. Absolutely big time. Answering the call, Jair Alexander. I keep bringing his name up, man, because in my opinion, the last couple games, ever since that suspension, the dude has just been that guy that you just always want him to be. He's been boisterous, he's been physical, he's been arrogant with his play. He's just been top shelf. Fights through two guys, doesn't make the play here, but really does make the play as far as blowing the play up by defeating two blocks. Now some other guys got to make some tackles, but I just love the effort, man. It's like, you start talking about big cap numbers and all, I hope that bump in the road really kind of crystallized what was important because he's a great player. Now I talked about this before. If you take one thing away from the year, it's that Quay Walker plays better downhill than when he's just a read and sit and wait player. So Quay comes down here right now, and basically they got a slip call between 71 and 65 onto Kenny, and 71 and 85. So basically, their two best blockers are blocking Kenny, but because Quay comes downhill here and forces Trent off, Kenny now splits. Makes the play in the backfield. Tackle for loss. Quay finishes up with Owens. That's a fantastic job. And that happens because Kenny does such a good job penetrating. But that also happens because, like, I've seen Trent Williams. I don't care how good a job Kenny puts his head in there and just runs straight forward. Trent's going to get around and cover that guy up. But because Quay decides to play that downhill and force the single block is the key. Because now you have leverage. Fantastic job. Both guys. Gary's pressure. So he starts off the third quarter and he's not on the field. So Lucas Van Ness comes out and it's like, it's one of those things where you're going, okay, you're on the 25, you want field position. Why are your best players not in the game to start the half? Like, are you tired from halftime? But he comes into third down, and this, again, there's a larger conversation about his injuries and health or what his ambitions are, because coming in on third down to be a rusher now, it doesn't feel like that's going to work. I know he played a lot more snaps this game, though. He comes down and kind of saves the day with this pressure. Takes that inside stab. And he's got a guy, I'm talking Purdy's got a guy wide open. Kittle's got, I think that Savage beat so bad. But throws it the other way, looks it off, doesn't get it because of the pressure from Gary. Big play averted. Sometimes it's surprising. Like, if it's me, I don't know if I'm giving, like, Savage is beat now. Great job, though. Great job by Gary getting pressure on, making him feel, making the collapse that process, collapsing that pocket. This seems unlikely to succeed. What am I saying? So, okay, so they're going to drop Owens down to Rob. Okay, and now they switch off the crosser, but like you can't tell a guy who's standing not flat footed but is not running to tell to say, hey, go take their best the best tight end in the league. Hey, go catch up to him right now, and we're gonna switch this off, and that's exactly what they do. And so Owens is like, oh, okay, and it's like, well, you got to make the tackle here, but that's a tough play. It's a first down for sure. It ends up being another 20 yards. Jair hasn't. I don't know. I'm just one of those guys. Like, if he just ran for 30 yards, I'm not talking trash. But this is what happens. This is the next play of the game. Good teams create momentum, and the San Francisco 49ers, they're not sure where to line up. Blah 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 blah. Everyone's not really ready, and all of a sudden, it's out the gate. Whiff, maybe a block in the back. Tough call to get. Obviously, let's watch this in real time here. So these guys just aren't quite ready. They're trying to figure things out because if that's Kittle, or Juszczyk, and then 89 is like, well, where do I go? They're having a hard time. So they're not really ready to go. They're not set and settled. Ball snapped. And this is the first time that everybody gets blocked. I mean, this is the first time the entire game that everybody just gets blocked. And everyone's on Savage's ass. And like, I get it. But come on, guys. Like, 23's running downhill. And we talked about before, the exact same thing happens with Aaron Jones later in the game. Like, this is you love him to close space. And I'm not saying he shouldn't make the play. I'm not giving him a pass. I'm just telling you, in the running back room, McCaffrey, nobody's surprised that he made that person miss. And that could be anybody. Blocking the back, tough call to get. Got to have it play. You got trips to the bottom. McCaffrey's out to the left of the quarterback. You got Ayuk up top. You get a slip from the tight end, so he's low. He drops. I think he touches the ball, but man, that turns into a red zone pick. And Kenny beating a guy again. And then we got the up and under from Rashawn. I'll show you the up and under from Rashawn as well. So Kenny beats his guy. So now we got the bull. And like, here's what I think about Rashawn, right? So Rashawn two-hand bull rushes this guy right down the barrel. And look at his body posture. I'm talking about the tackle. Like, he's done. He's literally standing straight up, is like just trying to brace himself. Like, the game's over. Whether the ball gets rid of or not, he's lost. Okay. That's what you want to see more of. Just get him on his heels and then react to what you see. Ends up getting the sack, or I don't know if that's a sack or a short gain. Brown finishing up. I love this by Owens, man. Shoot your shot. You got against great players, man. You can't be hesitating. You got to just go for it. Ends up taking the gap. Kittle's doing a good job right there on Lucas Van Ness getting vertical, by the way. Like, that's a big time block. Lucas Van Ness, he needs to be able to close that down a little bit better. But great job by great job by Owens. How does this play even happen? I mean, if you can see that, if I zoomed in, you got a guy jumping up over, and he somehow drops this, and it's not a duck. It's not a hard thrown ball. I don't know. He just drops it between the hash mark throws kill us. I mean, that's tough. 2 in the backfield so he can chip out. We get lucky here in that we got a fallen man. Great job hustling to get back, and then Purdy just throws a bad ball. I thought Purdy had a hard time with the ball than Love. Love did have the 2 picks. I don't think it was because of the rain. I thought this was a sign, man. This is like, best guy in the league. Takes a check down right in the chest and drops it. And this is on the, the game-winning drive here. And then you talk about the margin of victory being razor thin and how close you are to victory, right? We're in an advantageous situation right now. And you watch this throw. I mean, you're that close. Arm extended, draped, 3rd down, and he just makes a phenomenal throw. I mean, Phenomenal throw. And I mean, probably even better catch, right? So they throw the deep out. He's got time now. We know he can make that throw. You got trips left. You bang out with Kittle to the flat. He comes back in. We break a tackle for 10. That's probably a huge play, but this is where you get beat. And this sucks. I'll show it from the end zone copy, but the scramble against Purdy is just unacceptable. That's the game right there, really. You look at it from this perspective. So I think this is what, and first of all, you don't tell the other team, if the other team's Trent Williams, that you're going to run a game. You don't look over and start doing because he knows. Like we play the whole game now. Now you're in a 2-eye and you're going to run a TE. Like I just can't tell you how easy this is for the tackle to pick up. And the problem is, if he knows it's coming, I just don't know. I'd have to go back and watch how much success they had on these. But like Trent Williams is going to drive like this. If you get selfish and try to arm over into the B gap, like he's going to drive you back down because he's a good tackle. That's what good tackles do. I'm not him. I'm talking about any good tackle. They're just going to drive you back down. So you can't get selfish. Run, do what you're supposed to do, turn it into a bull, convert to the bull, but don't convert to bull in the gap. You're not going to win right here. That dude's a physical animal. So just a little bit of youth here gets you beat. Preston can't get back out. And then for me, everyone says, "Oh, we got to do this," and like I'm kind of all or nothing on this play. It's I think it's third and 1. They're on the 6-yard line. They got 3 timeouts left. You think like best case scenario, they don't do anything. Worst case scenario, they get a touchdown. We got to go. We got 3 timeouts and we got some time, right? But the worst case scenario is they get first and goal on the 3, and with their offensive line, their fullback, their tight ends, their running back, their guys' ability to block at the wide receiver position, and you're going. Now they got 2 minutes, first to go on the 3 to win the game. I don't like those odds. I'd much rather them go 4th down right here, or get a touchdown and give us the ball back, which is end up what's happening here. So for me, it's like shoot your shot. We take a chance here at the second level. Is that Quay? Yeah, Quay loads up. I don't know if he's in the right spot. Jonathan Owens is asked a lot here. Like Jonathan Owens could probably try to wrap up tackle here instead of doing whatever the hell that is. But